More people every day are going online to shop, and so many are taking charge of their income by starting a business. Our company has a unique opportunity to help you do both powerfully. So this is the perfect time to hear this information. We have a business that creates ongoing income from shopping, something people do every day. Imagine being able to harness 40% of your spending to turn it into an ongoing, willable income. And that's what we do with the Shopping Annuity. It has made us one of the fastest-growing Internet companies with over $7.3 billion in lifetime sales. We are one of the top 59 e-commerce sites worldwide by Internet retailer. Our company founders and our products are regularly seen in mainstream press. We have had over 90 consecutive quarters of growth, and we're on our way to celebrate our 25th anniversary. That's a big deal in this kind of marketing, in this kind of economy and business. Our company and income is sustainable because we are product brokers. Just like QVC, we source, negotiate, provide the best deal on over 50 million products from over 4,000 retail partners. We have great deals and prices and pay cash back. In fact, we've paid over $31 million in cash back so far to customers and business owners. We work in the best retail industries, including health, wellness, beauty, weight loss, anti-aging, personal care, baby care, home care, pet care, and more. And keep in mind, people, these are only billion-dollar markets. We have already created over $400 million earners, and one of the reasons is for that is that it takes 75% fewer people to create a six-figure income than with other companies. So whether you want to be a millionaire or earn an extra $300 to $1,500 a month, we have a system that could work for you. We use relationship marketing and word-of-mouth approach, which allows us to expand household to household while helping people save money, earn cash back, and create a global residual income. Now I'm going to hand the phone over to Alan. I'm going to let him say a few words and introduce tonight's special speaker.
Great job, Debbie. Well, thanks, Debbie. I appreciate the time, and very excited about tonight's call. Just want to kind of give our background a little bit. Debbie and I have been with the company for 21 years, and as I tell people, we were definitely not looking for a business, but we're so excited about tonight because 21 years ago, we were looking for an extra $300 a month. That turned into a six-figure income within two and a half years in 1999, and since then, we've been full-time, stay-at-home, now grandparents raising grandkids and living a different lifestyle, all because we looked at an opportunity 21 years ago. But at that time, we were definitely not looking. Debbie was a teacher. I was an athletic director, and definitely not looking for another business until the persistency of a good friend of ours, 16 weeks, kept telling us about this great opportunity. And finally found our weakness, a cold beverage and some food, and we decided to take a look at it. And like I said, I looked at it as an opportunity to make an extra $300 a month, never realized the potential. And today we live a very different lifestyle. But more importantly, we're helping hundreds and thousands of people create an extra income themselves. So without further ado, I'm very proud and privileged and honored to have our guest speaker on tonight. It's Loren Ridinger. She's the Senior Executive Vice President of Shop.com. You know, and Loren, I know there's a lot of things going on with convention coming up, but you know, it was something I just wanted to. I figured the worst you could tell me is no, and I figured I'd at least ask. 2 weeks out.
I would never tell you no.
Well, and I appreciate that, and I guess we've bonded over the years, and I admire you and JR so much that I just honor you guys. So again, thanks for joining us tonight.
More than my pleasure, and I'm so happy to do this with you guys because you know how much I love you guys and so many of the people on the phone, and it's such an important time in our company's history right now. So it's just everything's great.
Yeah. Well, just a couple questions, Loren. I just kind of want to think back. How did you meet JR?
I knew that was coming. Well, I met JR in 1987. I was just fresh out of high school, about a year, and I was working at a company he was brought on to consult for. He was consulting for a TV company that, if you remember, like the Ab Buster and those type of products that were on TV, he was, really brought on as an expert to help guide them on marketing and building their business and their foundation. And I was working there as an office manager, fresh out of school, and met him. And I remember there was a big meeting where they brought all the big head honchos, JR, of course, being one of the top two, and brought him in to meet with us and kind of went over concepts and ideas for marketing. And he was listening to me and paying attention, and I probably looked pretty cute that day. And he said, "You look like a tiger to me. You look like you can go get anything you want to get done." And, of course, I fell madly in love. It took him a few more minutes. But other than that, it was a tremendous love affair, and it's been continued for 28 years. It's pretty remarkable.
28 years is remarkable in today's age. Yeah.
It really is. I always tell people, say, how do you stay married so long? I'm like, well, we take everything one day at a time, and we always end up, I always tease them, and I say, I'm going to, reevaluate our contract every 6 months, and he always passes the test. So we're always doing amazing, and I think we're both so focused and have so much passion for the same things, which is people, that it makes our marriage so strong and so powerful. And I think, well, how do you work together so well? When you work together because you have the same whys and the same passion, the same beliefs, I think it's like, it's important to be best friends and also still remember that you're married,
Right. I think so, yeah. I advise all of my girls, look for somebody with the same goals. You want somebody with the same goals and the same passions for life and the same ideas, so you can work together, like you just said.
Well, it's true. I mean, that's why a lot of divorces happen. We know is a lot of people don't believe in what the other person's doing, or it takes away from the time that they feel that they should be spending with them. And I think there's a way for both people to be happy and fulfilled. And it's important for them to have the same goals,
Right. Well, our next question here, and I hope we're not getting too personal, but our next question
That's okay. I like personal. I'm not afraid.
Well, good, because we're curious. Age then, did you wholeheartedly jump into and support JR's idea of the unfranchised? What makes you say, okay, yeah, let's do this?
I think it was day one. I mean, when I met JR, we were just finishing up with another company, and he had just started working with another one that I came to work with him as well at right before MarketAmericanShop.com. And, his passion and belief in people becoming successful and helping people to generate the income that they couldn't do just working, the 45-year plan. His mind was always thinking, and he was always bothered by the fact that nobody knew how to do it right. Nobody had ever rethought the concept of how people can make money by helping other people make money. In fact, it was still the same concept of almost like traditional business, where whoever you could tear down in order for you to succeed was what was out there in the marketplace. And, his feeling was it'd be so much easier for people to succeed if they could help other people succeed at the same time. And I think that concept was his thinking for many years prior to starting, since I met him in 1987. So Market America formed and was born in 1992. So there was several years he had talked about it. And, we were two people who didn't really have the startup money, but we had a vision and passion and belief, and he had, me and a handful of people behind him, and we didn't think that we really needed money to execute on our vision and what we wanted to do. We had passion and belief, and we knew if we could convince others to buy into that they would all benefit from it. And so I think, from day one, I thought this is why I fell in love with him from the beginning. My mother passed away the same year Market America was born in 1982, and I remember her telling me when we were flat broke that, JR's going to be something special. He's going to be something magnificent. He has a plan, and, I'm not sure that you even understand that yet, but he's special. Pay attention, stay in touch, don't quit, because, there were challenges in the beginning. We didn't have the money. We didn't have a way to survive in the beginning. So you're always dealing with those challenges. But if you kind of just take money out of the picture for a minute, which is such a problem for most families, and as the reason, like I said, for divorce. But when you put that aside and you get together on your goals and your passion and vision, and you have such a tremendous leader, somebody who's a mentor for me and so many other people, then it's easy to jump on board and it's easy to see what can be done, even with the lack of funds. It was pretty remarkable and pretty amazing. And, you know, we still pinch ourselves to this day, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a good lesson to be learned by anybody with objections as to why they can't do this business. I mean, like you said, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a lot of money. It's work, it's dedication, it's commitment, and it's having to have the belief and passion for what you want done. And thank heavens you guys came up with the idea and made it doable for all of us, because we are certainly all benefiting by his idea and your hard work.
Well, I appreciate that. And that's what it's all about. I mean, that's what the whole concept of Market America was built on. His belief of, you know, that moment that he decided that billions of a vote went off in his line, and he said, you know what, I want to see other people make it, and I know they can make it. So how can we bring other people along with them? Because that will keep causing other people to succeed. If you succeed and you know it helps other people, then there's some benefit in just money, not just money anymore, but it's also about the benefit of helping others, which is something I don't know many other companies can do. In fact, I can't think of one off the top of my head.
No, I
don't. So, you know, it's remarkable. It's really special.
Totally agree, yeah. And I think that's been Alan's mantra, too, is that his goal now is just to help as many people as he can. So
that's what keeps us going.
Yeah. All right, thanks. That was a great answer there. Really helped. I expect to help a whole lot of people with their beliefs and get things up and running for them. What influenced you to create Motives? How did Motives come about? How did you come up with the concept of adding cosmetics to this? Because I can remember I was the supportive, non-supportive spouse for a long time, and then the cosmetic end of things came about, and Alan said, "Oh, here's what you can do."
Well, I think it's true, and I think it is because cosmetics are important to women and some men too. And I think, you know, the concept was real simple, really was for two reasons. One, you know, Jared had been pushing me for so long to, you know, create a line that I was passionate about, because I had so many people on my own blogs and people who would write in and ask me what I used and, you know, what I favored. And Jared said, you know, I hate you referring them to other people's products. Why don't you come up with a line that you fall in love with, and if you love it so much, we'll sell it. And, you know, he was the first person behind me on that. You know, when somebody offers you that opportunity, you know, you take it really seriously, because you don't want to put your name on something that you wouldn't be proud to use yourself. And on top of that, you know, my mother was mad in love with cosmetics till she died. I remember the only thing I kept from her of her belongings, which she didn't have much. She was a hardworking woman, but when she did pass away, I kept her makeup bag. And I remember, you know, she wouldn't go to bed at night until she had her makeup on before my dad came home from work, and it made her feel good about herself and what it did for her confidence. And at the time, you know, as a teenager, I didn't understand that. And as I got older, I began to understand that, because it's true. Whenever you look your best, you have a tendency to feel your best and do your best. And I think the concept behind Motives, and even the name behind Motives, was all driven by that thought. So the motive behind it was what created the name. The motive behind it was, of course, make people feel and look their best, but also being able to generate an income while they could work from home, still spend more time with their kids than they could anywhere else, and do something that they love doing anyway, which made people feel good. So that was the motive behind it, and Motives was the natural name for it because of it. And it's funny, I remember Jan and I sitting in bed talking about, what should we name this product? What should we name this product? And, you know, I spent so much time working on the development. He goes, well, what's the motive behind it? What do you feel about it? And I said, that's it. That's the name, Motive. Because there's so many motives behind it. And it's not about me. That Motives belongs to you. It belongs to so many people on this call and so many people who are a part of Market America and Shop.com. So it's a special product line. And I always say it's really not mine. It's everybody's. I just made it because I fell in love with it. I made it for me. So I know I would use it. And if everybody else could benefit from that, it would become theirs.
Good. Well, and I always tell Debbie, I said, you know, she wants to retire with the grandkids. I said, no, you can't do that. I said, I love Motives. I talk to every woman out there. I know about everything. And if you're a guy on this phone tonight, you really need to take at least a day training of Motives to learn more about micropulverized, 12% pigmented, non-gender bias, skin in a bottle, because you know what? It gives you the avenue to be able to talk to all of them and to all ladies. And women love when men talk to them, Loren, about cosmetics and, how beautiful they look. What are you wearing? And it just gives you another tool.
You're so right, Al, because the truth of the matter is that as women, we look to our man, our husband, our boyfriend, our respective other. We look to our friends. We look to people, but mostly men, to say how good we look or compliment us. And so I always, want to make sure that my husband gives me the thumbs up, when I'm getting ready to go out. And when he doesn't, I always remind him. But I think it's really important that when a man points out to a woman, this is what looks best on you, or I love how this looks on you, well, women really pay attention. So that makes what you just said really important. When a man talks to women and gets to know motives, you don't have to know how to apply it, but you certainly can talk about it. Because I know most men have no problem talking to women to begin with.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity for men to use what they do best, which is talking to women and having a conversation about something that makes them feel good anyway.
Yep. Well, I always look forward to getting a freshen up picture with you and Lala every 6 months, just because I know it's a tool in a toolbox. Like you said, it gives me an avenue to talk to women, but feel comfortable and confident about the line, because I know if I pull out a lipstick or whatever I carry with me, I know that they're going to be interested because they've heard of motos, right? I eavesdrop you and Lala, and then I have pictures of you guys, and it's so easy to talk.
Well, we're only a week and a half from another picture, babe.
Yeah, no, yep, you're right. Our next question is, if you had to do all over again in the beginning, is there anything you would change?
That's a good question, Big Al, and I'll be really honest with you. Yes, there's one thing we would change if we had to do it all over again, and Jared and I have talked about this often. But the deal's the deal. I think the one thing, and you would probably agree, and I don't feel like it's a selfish thing in any way, but I think if we were to do it all over again, we would require people, regardless of how much money they're making, especially if they're making money, those people who, sit back and relax and enjoy the fruit of their labors with Market America over 2 years, 4 years, 6 years, and they're making enough money that they feel like they don't have to do any more, to at least have to come to the convention, to the World Conference, to an event like we're coming up to our 25th anniversary. And the reason is that, number one, Debbie said it early on, this business is willable, okay? And that's really special. I don't know any businesses like this that are willable. There's nothing like it. So the fact that it is willable, you should want to be able to stay in the know, even if you don't have to do any more work. So I'm not saying that we would change it where people would have to do more work, but at least come to the 2 events a year so they can stay in the know, so they could bring their family up to speed, because it is willable. And what's the big deal if you're making money to come to a few events just to know what's going on? It's kind of out of respect for the company and your organization that helps support your funds that you're getting paid on.
Yeah. Well, you're setting an example, and, like I said, Debbie and I have been with this company for 21 years, August 16th of this year, and we have never and will never miss a major event, even the small events as well.
Exactly right.
Next question. Do you remember when and how the idea of the unfranchised hatched?
Yeah, I remember JR came home very frustrated one day after working with another company that, not the company that we met with, but another company. And, he watched in horror how people worked so hard and everything they worked for would be taken away because, every time you would fill out a line of people, it would break away from you. And he didn't like that. He didn't like products weren't delivered on time and the products weren't good. And he was very, very frustrated. He thought nobody had ever done it. And that's when he kind of created the binary concept in his mind. He wanted people to be able to build it with only building 2 legs, and that it would be enough to change their life. And so he really rethought it, and he talked about it for really a few years before it happened. But he was well organized. He was sure of what he wanted to do, and it was something he didn't stop talking about for a long time. And I just encouraged him to just do it because his thinking was out of the box. Nobody really cared about other people making money. Everybody cared about themselves making money. And the fact that he was able to do it with building 2 legs meant that you could automatically help other people because, the volume obviously is paid out, from wherever you place it to everybody above you.
Yep. Well, I always tell people, JR really finding out what the average person could realistically do, not what he wanted to do. And 2 is the smallest multiplier to pay the highest profits on the least amount of volume. So, again, such a powerful concept.
It's a genius thinking. I mean, the power of 2 and him understanding what, like you said, real average people could achieve. Everything else was unachievable. So people would join other companies. They would get frustrated. They quit. They end up spending money. They'd end up inventory loading. And in Market America, we don't allow for that.
Yep. Funny, absolutely, that you can do this on a part-time basis and blend it in like I did. 2.5 years.
When I think about 1999, you started making 6 figures a year, right?
Yep.
In 1999, and you joined just a few years before, and you were only set to make $300 a month, and that's all you cared about, and you ended up changing your life and making 6 figures. That's a true testament of what somebody and many people have done in Market America.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. The next question is, we are all recognized on how hard you and JR and the corporate team work. What continues, for the field, but what continues the success and what drives you guys?
Well, obviously, it's not money anymore. It's people. I mean, and that was the whole idea from his original concept. It was always, he never put money at the forefront of any conversation with us when we started with no money, because he knew that the first question would be is, you guys have no money to start. So he wanted to take that as an equation. Money was not discussed ever because we knew if we let that be the impediment from going forward, we'd never make it because we didn't have any. So it was always about people and people succeeding. And when you receive thousands of letters from people who say, my life has changed, I've been able to, pay for a mortgage or pay for a light bill, send my child to school, or leave a marriage that's not healthy, and you get thousands of letters like that all the time, or put my cancer in remission because our products are so good, and I'm not making any claims. These are things that people have written to us. When we get things like that, that's what keeps you going. I mean, yep. I don't know what better feeling it is to wake up in the morning knowing that you're not just doing good for yourself and your family, but you're doing good for so many other people. And I mean, you and Debbie are a true example of that. When I think about how many people you guys help and how you guys can sit back and enjoy the fruits of your labor and don't have to work if you don't want to, but you do. Because you find something that keeps you going and you realize how powerful it is and you realize how many people you're touching. It's no different for us. It's about the amount of people we can touch and who we can work with and who's willing to do it and who's willing to be coachable, who knows what their why is and is willing to go after it.
Yeah, and that is my continued success is, being able to continue to help people, even, people not in my organization, but the whole company. Like tonight, I mean, I didn't have to do this, but I know the importance of, and giving that extra shot, possibly getting people to our major events. So, any tips on staying motivated, not giving up and focused?
Well, I think the most important thing, and I always tell people, if you don't know what your why is, everybody has a why, right? So for me, my why is it's a couple things. It's number one, like I said, it's helping people achieve success, because I feel like there's so many great people out there and they never get the opportunity because they're stuck in the rut of working the 45-year plan for somebody else's success rather than their own success. And if you stop for a moment and you think about how hard you sometimes work for someone else, but it does nothing for your own success, nothing for your family's growth, then you got to stop and say, what am I doing? Is this what I really want? And I always tell people, evaluate. Are you really happy? Because if you're not happy, you're going to go through your life being unhappy. The worst thing that could happen to you is for you to die and not become the person you were meant to be. And so I think number one is knowing what your why is. That keeps you motivated. If that's not the thing that keeps you out of bed in the morning, there's something wrong. You're going to stay asleep. The why is the thing that gets you up before you need to get up. And that's the thing that'll say, I'm going to keep going because this is why it is. It's my children. It's my grandchildren. It's the desire to help other people. I want to set the right example, for my children so they can see it's important to work and that they can achieve what they want to achieve. And they don't have to worry about money, but you do have to put in sweat, blood, and tears for a little bit to make it. If it's not painful at first, I don't know if it'll work anyway anywhere else. Everything in life that's worth getting is worth going through the pain for. That's the thing that kicks you out of bed in the morning. The thing that you know is your why, the thing that keeps you breathing and living and keeps you functioning for that one special reason. For us, it's a couple. You know, it's my family, it's my grandchildren, like you and Debbie. You know, they've given me my whole life a whole new perspective. But I think it's also the fact that when you can help other people achieve success, there's not anything in the world that I can think of that is more fulfilling than that moment.
Yes, totally agree. Your why has to be paramount. If you don't have a paramount why, there's no reason for you to, like you said, get up in the morning. You have to have something. Well, we don't want to keep.
And I think if you keep that in perspective, right, it's the thing that will keep pushing you. Because I always have my friends, they'll sometimes tell me, "Oh my God, I meant to do this," or "I said I'd do it tomorrow and I haven't gotten around to it." I just can't get out of bed. If you can't do those things, you don't know what your why is. You haven't sat down to figure out what your why is. You haven't put your priorities in order. What is it that keeps you moving? Is it working for your boss, really? Because that can't possibly be motivating somebody. I think what motivates you is to know setting goals one day at a time and looking at them and saying, this is what I'm trying to achieve. You know, back, Jared and I were talking just yesterday, and we were talking about, if you guys remember, and I'm sure you do, and you probably still have them, we had came across some of our old dream boards that we used to make people do. You know, now you can create them on Pinterest and things like that, but you can create a dream board like we used to do it, like you guys used to do, and you would put all of your goals on one dream board. And we would look at that dream board every day because we'd post it up in our house. And we'd start pulling things off the board that we achieved and putting new things up. And that was the thing that kept us going, the things that we wanted to do, the things that we desired to do. And if you look at that board and you keep looking at it every day, nothing changes, you're not doing what it takes. Most people are not willing. I always say it's not that hard to be successful. Most people just won't try.
Yep. I see. We just let it get stagnant. They don't, and you're right. There's no drive. There's no energy behind the motivation. There's no motivation. There's no drive, and that's sadly the state of a lot of people. But like you said, it's so easy to overcome those feelings and thoughts and push yourself forward. And it's with this business anyway, for us, it has been a minimal amount of time and effort and energy, and look at the success. And it's not giving up. You can't give up. You have to, if that one way doesn't work, find another that will.
Exactly. And you have to keep on going. Believe me, this company had major struggles in the beginning, but if we didn't pull together and say, okay, there's going to be another way, we're going to figure this out, we're going to pull together. Sometimes it's painful. Sometimes you have to starve. Sometimes you can't sleep at night because you have to do more in order to make more things happen. I always tell people, sleep less if you keep telling me you don't have time. Sometimes I'll go, even to do before a big event like this, we're just a week and a half away, right? So for me, I'm just now beginning on my stuff because I was sick for a week, and then we were away doing so many meetings, and then I had my grandkid's birthday and everything, when we had guests in town and everything, and you start to get frantic. And for a moment, I told you, oh, my God, I'm frantic. I haven't started anything. You haven't started anything. We're 2 weeks out. And he was like, we'll get this together. And I think the most important thing is to remind yourself you can get it done. You may have to adjust. You may have to sleep less. You may have to get up earlier. You may have to have, somebody else bring in dinner, and you have to eat at home so you can keep working. You're not going to go out to dinner and waste 2 hours. Because I always tell Jared, do you want to go out to dinner and waste 2 or 3 hours for somebody to take care of us? Or you want to just order in so we can get the grind on? Yeah. And, that's a sacrifice. Those are things that, you want to go out to dinner. You want to be able to, pick up the kids at school. But you may need to carpool for a few weeks to get going. You have to figure out a way to adjust. That doesn't mean you give up the things that you love doing. It just means you're doing things in order to do the things you love more.
Exactly. Now we mention that all the time too. There are some sacrifices that you have to make in order to get what you really, really want.
Yeah, and I think people are afraid of that sacrifice, which is really sad, because that sacrifice is what's going to get you there. It's the only thing that's going to get you there.
And I think the fear of failure comes in there a lot too. People are afraid to fail, but it's through failure that you learn to succeed. If you didn't fail,
it's the stepping stones.
Yeah. Well, we don't want to
stepping stones.
Exactly. Yeah. We don't want to keep you too longer. So last but not least, we all know how involved and hands-on you are with family, and now especially grandchildren. since they've come into your life. And I'm speaking from a female point of view here. Sometimes we as women find it hard to balance both family and work and get it all done. But I do believe that we as women, you know what they say, behind every successful man, there's a woman rolling her
100%.
eyes. Rolling her eyes. Anyway, I'm just any tips for us girls out there that to keep us motivated and on the course?
I think that's always my favorite subject to talk about, and it's representative of my blogs and the things I do. But I think the most important thing is, number one, I agree with you 100%. There's always a great woman behind a great man. And sometimes there's a great woman who hasn't met a great man, and you can do it even better because you don't have to have, you don't have to worry about multitasking with a man or children or grandchildren. So everybody gets to succeed. I mean, I'm blessed. I have 3 amazing grandchildren, 1 amazing daughter, and, life has been really great for us. And my daughter was able to grow up in the business, and now I hope that my grandchildren will follow. I've got 3 under 4 now. I just had 3 under 3. Aiden just turned 4 yesterday at his birthday party, and it's been a special week. And I think, I'm always torn as a grandmother or a parent and say, well, how can I do the things I want to do? How can I do a birthday party 3 days before I have to fly to Greensboro and have all these guests staying in town and I have a million things to do? Forget the fact I have to do 4 or 5 presentations. And what I first do is I take a deep breath, number one, because where there's a will, there's a way. You will find a way to get it done. And JR and I are very good at talking ourselves through and to each other about we will get this done because everything we speak from is from our heart. But I think the most important thing is, as a woman, because we're such good multitaskers, that really means we're really good jugglers. And I always say, I juggle a lot of things. Is there a formula for it? No, there's no formula for it. Sometimes, things aren't balanced on the scale for the week. The next week you rebalance them. I don't think you need to punish yourself. I see it all the time with women and sometimes with my own daughter where you're punishing yourself because you're trying to do better for yourself. You're trying to achieve in business. You're trying to create your Mark in America business or whatever it is that's your passion, but you feel like you're spending too little time with your children or you don't have enough time with them. You feel like you have 3 kids and you're giving one more attention than the other. And I think you need to stop punishing yourself because you're doing the best you can. And as long as you know you're doing the best you can, that's number one. Nobody is going to feel slighted if you spend 5 extra minutes with them and 5 minutes less with somebody else. Nobody's going to feel bad if you pick up dinner instead of worrying about cooking dinner tonight because cooking dinner is going to take more of the time you need in order for you to put in the hours that you need to achieve success. So asking your husband to pick up dinner or picking up dinner from a takeout and making it faster so you have more time for yourself, those are important things that I've gotten my family to sacrifice over the years because in order for me to do what I want, I still want to be able to have dinner with them, but I don't want to have to cook dinner for them all the time because I didn't have time to do it and do what I needed to do to get us where we needed to be. And I think we have a tendency as women, we have tremendous guilt where sometimes, and I love men obviously, men will go on without the guilt so much. And women don't because women have the guilt because they're the caretaker, they're the chauffeur, they're the the nurse, the babysitter. We do kind of everything. I always tell everybody that being a mother or grandmother is one of the most important jobs in the universe, if not the most important job, because you're still doing what you have to do and being all of that to one single little body in the world that's so important that they need so much. So stop punishing yourself for the things that you feel like you may not have the time to do with your kids because you have to focus on the things you'll be able to do with them. And I always say, put some time in for yourself. Ask support for your spouse. Ask support. I'll tell JR, like JR will say, I'd love to go out to dinner tonight. I said, me too, babe. But you know what? I really need you to support the fact I can't go tonight. I've got to plan a party. I've got to create a presentation. I'm working on the agenda. There's a million. And he says, that's it. That's all you had to say. And so don't be afraid to speak up for what you need done or any help you need. Can you help pick up the kids so I can go to an extra meeting tonight? Can you go pick up the food for the kids tonight so we can all eat dinner together while I do a conference call? Don't be afraid to ask for those things because you've done it at one point for someone else. And I think we have a tendency to just feel like we can't ask, and it's really detrimental to your own health because you build resentment when you don't get that support. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I think that JR and I are really successful at is that we're both, even though we're both with the same company, our drive is it's just so on the same level, but yet We both constantly, even though we work on the same things, we both work on different things. So he doesn't necessarily know what I'm working on. I don't necessarily know what he's working on all the day. We know bits and pieces of it, and then we get together and talk about it. And I think talking and communication is so important so a woman can succeed. We just need to put ourselves in the background and not put ourselves first. And I feel like you cannot rely on anybody else to make you happy. Number one, you need to be the one who's responsible for your happiness. That's first and foremost in my life. And I tell my husband the same thing. When you wake up, please don't expect me to be the one to put the smile on your face, and vice versa. I won't expect you to be the one. I'm going to be happy when I wake up, but I want you to be happy when you wake up. Because that way we can start the day the right way. But if you're expecting that from me, I might let you down. And I don't want to let you down. So that's not why we, come into a relationship with somebody. We don't need somebody, and you need to remind yourself, you don't need somebody to make you happy. And your job is not to worry about making others happy. Mm-hmm. Your job is for you to be happy. Mm-hmm. And when you're happy, everybody else will automatically be happy. And those people who aren't happy around you, you need to eliminate them from your life. It's too hard. And I always tell women, do what you need to do. Find the example. One of the reasons I work so hard, obviously I wouldn't have to if I didn't want to, is because I want to set the right example for my child. I want her to see that it's okay to work for your own money. It's okay to work hard. My mom doesn't need my dad's money. She makes her own money. My mom pays for her own things whenever she wants, and she doesn't have to ask a man for something. Not that that's not nice. And men, I'm telling you this because I don't want you to not go buy the nice gift for your wife. That's important. But what I'm saying is what's really important is to be able to do things on your own so you can respect yourself because you can. And set an example for the people around you. I always want my children to see that it's important to work. I always want my grandchildren to see how important it is to work. I saw Jared just came out and gave me a smile at me because he knows how important that is to me. And that I don't have to. I never say to him, I'll say to him, hey, can I borrow $100? I'll pay you back. And he's like, you don't have to pay me back. You're my wife. And I'm like, no, but I want to. And he always cracks up from that. He's like, well, what if I just want to give it to you? I said, well, you can, but I'm just borrowing it for right now, and I'll pay you back. And I always pay him back, and vice versa. But yet we don't have to. We feel really good about it. And it seems so senseless and so silly, but it's not. It's something about pride and respect and love for each other. But that doesn't mean we can't be special to each other as people who we love and treat each other nice with, nice gestures and nice things. So I think the balance is first remembering that you don't have to be perfect. You're perfect just the way you are.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I know Debbie and I, balance is a big key in our relationship of 35 plus years, and she knows my passion with this business, but I know she has a lot of responsibility as a woman as well, so we respect each other as well.
That's everything. Respect is everything.
Yep. Well, the last question we want to ask any guests or new business partners or maybe people on the fence about coming to our 25th anniversary, August the 10th through the 13th in Greensboro, North Carolina. Why do you think it's paramount for people to be there?
Okay, well, it's real simple. First of all, if there's any event to go to, it's this event. Okay, it's a celebration of our 25 years together and our 25 years in business, which is a huge feat in itself. And the beginning, most importantly, the beginning of the next 25 years and our plan and what we're going to do. And we're kind of laying it out. And it's the beginning of, as Debbie said, this willable business of generations to come, where I was literally putting together videos tonight and working with different things I want to present to the crowd and special moments and kind of through the years type of thing of 25 years. And I'm thinking to myself, how we've come so far, number one, is the first reason you should be here, because you have, if you're a guest, you'd be the first reason to be there is because everything is much easier today than it was over the last 25 years, right? And things are going to get easier and they're better. And we have so many new exciting launches. And it's a celebration of 25 years, which is unheard of. We have incredible celebrity performances taking place all weekend. Very special guests, which I know that Big Al and Debbie will especially love. And it's going to be a really, really special time. And I think just to know how we foresee the next 25 years and the 25 years after that and where we're going and how the game plan is laid out. We've been thinking about this stuff for the last 25 years. And if there's any one to come to, this is the one you don't want to miss, this is the one you say to yourself, you know what, if I'm ever going to take a shot on anything, I know I've talked about going. I know I said I would go the year before. I know I said I would go in February. I know I said I'd go next time. Go this time. Make up your mind to go this time, to make the difference in your life, to say, you know what, maybe something will happen to me there that I've been waiting to happen. Maybe I'm going to hear something that I never heard before. Maybe I'm going to learn something that I thought I knew but I didn't understand. Jer and I talk all the time. Jer was having a conversation with me the other day about the shopping annuity, and like you said, Debbie, how we actually pay people for doing something they already do, which is shopping. And when he was explaining the concept to me, remember, I live with this man. I talk to him every single day. Of the 24 hours, at least 20. So everything that we do is together. And, you know, he's talked about the shopping annuity for a few years now. And he said something to me the other day that finally hit me. And I was in the shower, and I came out of the shower, and I go, I finally get the shopping annuity. I thought I had it all along. But I finally got it. It's not about how much money you spend per month. It's about just converting your spending into earning. And yet it seems so simple, but that's not what people do. People go for other reasons. Really what you need to do is whatever it is that you're purchasing currently outside, buy it from yourself, buy it from your business so you can save money and earn money. It's that simple. And there's a transparent way that we're going to do it at the 25th anniversary, where it's going to be even more simple, where you and Big Al and all of our friends on the phone, and I won't have to work so hard to get everybody to understand it, but we're going to do it from the very beginning when they join the business, where we'll help lead that process for you. And so it finally hit me, and, you know, I think I understand everything because I live with this guy, but sometimes it takes me a minute. Yeah. And even though I think I get it, I think, oh, my God, I needed to hear it again and again. And if any time you need to hear something, this is the only time where you can get everything we've done in 25 years and where we're going for the next 25 in one weekend. If there was ever time you said, hey, I want to do something, I want to make a change in my life, I want to make a difference, I want to give this a shot, don't wait till February. Now's the time to go. What do you have to lose? What's going to happen? You're going to give a weekend with your friends, a weekend with your kids for the weekend. You're going to give up time where you can just stay at home and flip the TV channels. Nothing will change by doing those things. But this weekend will change your life. And if it doesn't change your life and you come and you end up hating it, I would personally give them back their money. But they wouldn't because there's so much they can get out of it. There's so much to gain from this particular weekend that I wouldn't put it off because, you know, I was building my presentation tonight, and I was thinking the events department was calling me saying, well, we need to know what the title of your presentation is right now. I said, well, you don't need to know right now because it's not important to you. What's important is how I portray it to people. And my theme was, this is not the name of my presentation, but it's the theme is, I'll wait till I'm going to get it done tomorrow. Because everybody says, I'm going to get it done tomorrow, but they never do. And tomorrow never comes. And then what happens is we wake up and we're, 70, 80, 90, and we think we're too old to do something when we're not, because you're never too old to make a change. But you keep putting things off till one day. The good Lord says it's time for you to go, and the doctor tells you have no more time left. You say, darn, why did I wait so long? I kept saying I would do it tomorrow, and I never did. So now's the time. There's no better time than now.
Yeah. I totally agree. I mean, again, 21 years of with this company, 20 years consecutive at the major event. And, just imagine 25 years of being married, 25 years of being at a job. That's a big deal. And 25 years with MarketAmericaandShop.com is definitely going to be a giant deal. So, guys, do whatever you can to get back with the person who invited you on the call tonight to learn more about the weekend of August 10th through the 13th in Greensboro, North Carolina. And Loren, I just want to say thank you so much tonight for the call.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you, and we love you.
We're going to have the best weekend together, and I hope I meet so many people on the phone that are guests that are going to come. And if you do, please come up to me and tell me, look, whatever it is that brought you out there, if there's a will, there's a way. You'll make it happen. If you really want to make a difference in your life, if you really want to change things, you'll make the time for yourself. You'll put the time in for yourself because nothing will change unless you do. And I hope I get to meet you at convention. And for those of you who are already, UFOs, unfranchised owners with us, I can't wait to see you. It's going to be a fabulous weekend. JR just walked out and said hi to everybody, and he's waving, and he's happy, and he can't wait to see everybody. It's a really special time, and we're going to go to work for you guys for the next 10 days till we see you. Good.
And we will have a final call next Sunday with International Field Chairman Elizabeth Weber will be on our call next Sunday at 9 p.m. and possibly another special guest. So you don't want to miss our next call next Sunday. Absolutely.
Don't miss that. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love
Al,
you. Thank
Debbie,
you much.
Can't wait to see you guys, and thanks to everybody who tuned in.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.